Welcome, everybody, to the show. This is mainly a sports show, but I'm willing to have guests on here, and if we want to talk anything other than sports, then I'm willing to dabble. We're going to be talking football, mainly college football. I'm a big basketball fan when that comes around, so we will be talking, a little bit of basketball as well. I'll sprinkle in a little bit of baseball in there, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to be that much. I try to bring, just as much humor, as much sports, as much college football as I possibly can. And try and come on every Sunday and go after over my previews. So yeah, week 0 we got Nebraska and Northwestern. This one is in Dublin, Ireland, followed by Stephen F. Austin and Jacksonville State, and then Illinois versus Wyoming, followed by Nevada, New Mexico State, and then last but not least, we got Vanderbilt and Hawaii. Hope you enjoy. All right. It's tea. It's good for you. For your throat. All right. First up, we got Nebraska and Northwestern in Dublin, Ireland. This game's set to kick off at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time on Fox. I think the transfer Casey Thompson for Nebraska coming in from Texas is gonna have he's gonna have a heck of a year. I think he's gonna have one hell of a game. He's gonna look to prove why he's not just one of the top transfers in Nebraska, who has one of the top portal classes coming in, but one of the top transfers in all of college football this year. Last year, Northwestern went into Lincoln and they got their tushes handed to them. 56-7. Nebraska just absolutely beat up on Northwestern from start to finish. I understand Northwestern's probably going to be looking for a little bit of revenge. It's not happening tomorrow, though. It's just simply not happening. Nebraska is just simply better, bigger, stronger. Last year, they outmanned them on a tune of 427 yards on 53 attempts. They can do the math, but that's an average of a little over 8 yards per carry. Nebraska also had a total of 657 total yards compared to Northwestern's 293. Close. Northwestern did outpass the Huskers by 26. So, yeah, good job. But Nebraska looks to be solid, and I personally see them tripling their win amount from last year. That's a lot to say. You would think triple, but when you only win 3 games, tripling is very doable. They had the toughest schedule last year, and they still managed to lose 9 games by a total of single digits. I mean, that's just insane. Omar Manning is out tomorrow for the Huskers, but they still have more than enough firepower in that wide receiver room. They're absolutely stacked. They got Trey Palmer to come over with Mickey Joseph from LSU. Mickey Joseph was a big reason Casey Thompson came as well. So, thank you, Mickey. I think Casey Thompson's going to have an absolutely huge game. He's going to end up being player of the game, and again, Nebraska dominating, winning by 31. Next up, we got Stephen F. Austin in Jacksonville State. This game's tuned to kick off at 12:30 Pacific time on ESPN. Now, this is a big opening game for Stephen F. Austin. They're coming off a pretty decent 8-4 season. They obviously want to improve on that after they lost to the University of the Incarnate Word in overtime on a field goal to end their season. That's how it happens, but you don't want it to go that way. And they did beat a pretty good not a good Texas Tech team, a Texas Tech team in Lubbock, so there's something to say about that. This game's also in Texas, which is going to help Stephen F. Austin, sorry. Jacksonville State, unfortunately, didn't quite enjoy the success that Stephen F. Austin did, but they were able to beat Stephen F. Austin last year when they met in Week 6 by a score of 28-24. Jacksonville State did lose their opener last year, but they bounced back strong, beating a Florida State team who we all know they're not great. Let's see if Florida State can even have a winning record this year. It wasn't Tallahassee; they won by 3, so that's a positive. They had a close games last year. Jacksonville State did, but that was only their wins. Their losses were absolute blowouts, and I honestly don't see this one ending any different. I got Stephen F. Austin by 17. Next, we got Wyoming and Illinois. This one kicks off at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Big Ten Network. Now, guys, I've noticed how I'm saying Pacific time. The reason I'm saying Pacific time, that's just where I'm from. That's the times that I get on everything, so that's how I'm going to, announce it. If you're on the East Coast, this game would be 4 p.m. Pacific time, or East time, obviously. So, yeah. But both of these teams are coming in after winning their last games last year. Wyoming went bowling. They were able to beat Kent State pretty convincingly, 52-38 in the Potato Bowl. Illinois came off winning, team we just talked about, a struggling Northwestern team, but regardless, a win's a win. Wyoming is only returning 4 starters on offense, so that's not good. That you're not gonna have a potent offense that way. Their top 2 quarterbacks are gone as well. They do get their top running back though, in Titus Swan Jr., who ran for 785 yards last year and 7 touchdowns. So that's one thing to look forward to. Last year, they returned all 11 starters on defense. However, they struggled mightily against the run, and they gave up 181 total yards per game. To add to that bad luck, they lost 10 of their top 15 tacklers from a season ago. Defense, they need to improve. They need to show out tomorrow. Illinois is bringing in transfer Tommy DeVito from Syracuse, not Danny DeVito. No, this is Tommy DeVito. Coaches there are saying he's been having a heck of a camp. Just absolutely having a great camp, tearing it up. He's hoping to bring a little bit of spark to that Illinois Fighting Illini. They're returning Chase Brown, who ran for over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year, along with their top 3 running backs from a season ago. With head coach Brett Bielema, he's going to want to establish that run game. So having running backs that can run and pound the ball is exactly what he's looking for. They also returned 6 starters on defense, but 5 of their top tacklers from last year are gone. So they're going to need those 6 starters to really step up and make some big time plays. I got Illinois winning on a last-second field goal in a very, very close, very highly contested football game. This one might be fun to watch. Next, I got Nevada versus New Mexico State at 7 p.m. Pacific time. This one's on ESPN2. Both of these teams come into the campaign with a new head coach. Nevada hired Ken Wilson, who was previously the co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach at Oregon after Jay Norvell just up and vanished for Colorado State, which is a mystery. You would think you'd want to leave and upgrade, but I don't see that being much of an upgrade. Teach his own, though. New Mexico State just didn't renew Doug Martin's contract. They instead hired a familiar name to most of us college football fans. They hired ex-Minnesota head coach Jerry Kill. If you guys remember, Jerry Kill had his health issues, which led him to leave Minnesota earlier than I think he would have liked to. He's coming off being named an interim head coach at TCU after spending the whole year as assistant to the head coach. He was Dwight Schrute for a little while there. Nevada will be starting senior quarterback Nate Cox, who played in 4 games last year, completing 60.5%. Only throwing for 279 yards and 2 touchdowns in those 4 games. We're only throwing 1 pick, so that's a positive. Senior Toa Taua will be carrying the load there at running back. He had a decent year last year, 732 yards and 6 touchdowns. They're also getting an incoming receiver from Arizona by the name of BJ Castile. Looks to lead that receiving core. That is, we'll see what they got. Like I said, they got a new team basically, so we'll see. Nevada only returns a few starters, but they do bring in some talent, some promise from other schools. William Green on the line from Liberty. We all remember how good Liberty was. I know they had Malik Willis, but we're about to find out if it was a fluke or not this year. We'll see if they're good. We'll see if they got it. They also bring in Darian Green Warren, defensive back from Michigan. Obviously, the secondary is looking to be their strong point this year. New Mexico State is basically starting on a fresh slate. They got their quarterback transferred, 2 of their top receivers transferred. I don't know much about this team. I think we're all going to find out tomorrow evening. I got Nevada by 14 just simply because Nevada has more figured out in terms of depth, in terms of players, in terms of what they want, in terms of who they are, to be honest with you. Last game I got today is Vanderbilt and Hawaii at 7:30 Pacific time. This one's on CBS Sports Network. Now, a very interesting move Hawaii made is they hired Timmy Chang as a head coach. Now, Timmy Chang has never even been as much as an offensive coordinator at the Group of Five level. So we'll see what he can bring to the table. You know, maybe Hawaii can turn it around with him. It's hard to tell. He's unproven. They have a total of 53 incoming players. I'm not even sure how they're going to man a team. They're going to be worn out. Those boys are going to be tired. But yeah, we'll find out. I'm rooting for you. They do got 3 quarterbacks to choose from, which is a positive, but they got Brandon Shager, who played 1 full snap last season, and 2 transfers. So, guys, honestly, Hawaii could be a coin toss. It could be a dumpster fire, in all honesty. I'm sorry to say it. But the good news for Hawaii here and their quarterbacks is that their O-line has the most starts, the 3rd most amount of starts in D1. So that is very positive for those quarterbacks. Vanderbilt is starting Mike Wright, who started his first game last year. He threw for 206 yards and a touchdown. That's not terrible. And he is the definition of a true dual threat quarterback. Now, they did finish dead last in the SEC last year, scoring a measly 15.8 points per game while allowing 35.9 points per game on defense. If you can tell me how to win with those numbers, then you may have just uncracked the code and you might be the greatest football coach of all time. But yeah, I got Hawaii mainly because of those last numbers that I just said to you. I have Hawaii squeezing this one out by a touchdown. So yeah, guys, like I said, I'll be back on Sundays. I want to talk about the games I covered, how close I got. If any of you guys have comments, let me know. What games I should do next week, what you guys want to hear, let me know. Alrighty, till next time.